And as you can tell, I have not been using creatine. But actually, after reading these articles, I'm interested now. Creatine. It's one of the world's top fitness supplements.
But does it work and is it safe? We're going to tell you, so stay tuned. You say creatine, I say creatine. I looked it up and either one is acceptable.
Or creatine.
I don't think I've heard creatine. Either way, it's the same thing. But before we get started on that, I think a lot of people are wanting to take it for maybe some muscle boosting. But a lot of times we see in our office because people are confused on the difference between creatine and creatinine. You're a biochemist. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the difference.
Yes, it's been a long time since I did biochemistry, but creatine is a molecule that's made up of a couple of amino acids that helps recycling ATP, which is
energy.
Yeah, it's a form of energy used by the cells and muscles for producing energy. Creatinine is something that we often measure in labs to look at kidney function. It's a breakdown product of creatine.
If people's creatinine levels are high, that can sometimes mean kidney failure or that the kidneys are not working right. Will creatine raise creatinine levels?
So if you're a big man, big muscular guy, like you, then your creatinine levels may be a little bit higher. Can taking creatine raise your creatinine?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, stay hydrated and it should be fine.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of studies looking at the safety of creatine supplements, and it seems to be pretty safe in the usual dosages. We looked at a lot of meta-analyses of these things where hundreds of studies are being looked at to be able to come up with these findings. And overall, it seems like a pretty safe thing.
Yeah, its safety is well supported by the evidence.
But it's safe. Is it effective? Am I going to get stronger by using creatine?
Well, I know that Dr. Miles has been using creatine over the last week.
Cat's out of the bag.
And no fancy camera angles. This is his real size.
Believe it or not, this is it.
And as you can tell, I have not been using creatine. But actually, after reading these articles, I'm interested now.
Yeah.
Like maybe I could benefit from some of this.
Yeah. We can talk about what the studies show, and then I'll be glad to talk about my personal experiences because I have taken it a few times over the years, but not anything consistent for long periods of time. So I think what a lot of people want to know, is it going to help them in the gym? Is it going to help them build muscle? Is it going to help them on the sports fields and competition? And it kind of depends on what you're looking for. For anaerobic activities like weightlifting or big bursts of energy like soccer players, it does help. It can help build muscle. It can help with your exercises in those activities like that. But more with the endurance type things like marathon runners, it doesn't seem to be as effective for that. So it just depends on what you're looking for, what you're looking to get out of it.
No, I think that was the main, looking over those meta-analysis, I think that was the main thing. It's those periods where you need a short burst of energy, that's why it's perfect for the gym. If you're doing bench press or you're doing some squats, periods where you need just a burst of energy.
Yeah, one other athletic component that I saw with some of these big studies was using it for actual brain activity. And it seemed to have some benefit towards cognition and memory in a lot of people. And I think that's worth considering. It's certainly got my attention because I never really thought about it that much before, because usually I'm thinking about it for muscles.
Yeah. And as we get older, have few little memory issues, and our muscles start to atrophy a little bit over time. That's kind of a natural process. It looks like creatine may be something that we can use to help with our strength training plan and maintain some of that muscle mass.
Okay. So you've called me out for taking some creatine before. Have you ever taken it before?
I've never, but maybe I should have.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll be glad to tell you what my observation has been. Keep in mind, this is a small sample size of one, so it's not a legitimate scientific study, but it's just what I have seen. But anytime I have taken it, and done the loading doses that they've talked about, whenever I've gone to the gym and lifted weights, say I could bench press 300 pounds only 5 times.
You say 300 pounds?
Yeah. Okay, not really. How about 250? Anyway, whatever I'm trying to bench, if I can bench press, if I can do it 5 times without creatine, if I'm on it, I feel like I can do it 8 or 9 times. So that's, to me, that's a pretty significant difference.
Yeah. All through high school, my friends took it. They seemed to get bigger faster than I did. I was always skeptical.
Yeah.
But now
I've always wondered about the safety of it, which it appears to be pretty safe. And I did wonder about the effectiveness of it until I actually tried it and compared. Now, obviously, it didn't make me grow huge muscles. I didn't do it consistently, but those brief times at the gym where I was doing it and using it, it did help.
What about using creatine for muscle recovery after a workout?
Yes. I have seen people want to take creatine because they think that they're going to work out, their muscles are going to be injured, and they want to improve their recovery so that way they can get back to the gym. But unfortunately, these studies that are out there with a good scientific backing do not support that.
that's what I read too. And I was hopeful because I'm a runner and I would like to think that this might help me in my running. But I think from what we read, maybe it might just be in the weight training.
How about the ding dongs that you had for lunch today? Do they help out much with your recovery?
Oh man! So I did have a little tasty treat between lunch and dinner today, and I feel like that gives me some energy.
What about if I take creatine without working out? Is that still going to help me?
I don't know that. But I'm going to guess that if you're going to take the creatine, you probably need to work out.
It mainly has that benefit of when you're pumping the iron in the gym, giving you that extra couple of reps. But if you're not working out and you're just sitting at this front of the TV, I think it's probably not going to be much benefit to you.
Well, how much muscle can I add if I use creatine?
There are some noticeable differences, but they're small.
Is there a specific age range that is safe for using creatine?
I don't think that we've done a lot of studies with children, so I definitely wouldn't advocate that. But as far as like an upper age range, I can't really see that there's really a limit.
21 and up.
21 and up.
Safe. Below 21, just need some more studies done. Nothing to say it's not safe, but just need some more studies done.
How about 16-year-olds? Because I seem to recall a story being told the other day in the office.
Yes. So 16-year-olds, most of this, your sports medicine societies are going to tell you that it's not recommended for teenagers and adolescents. Again, there's nothing that's been reported that would suggest that it's not safe. It's just there needs to be more evidence. And if you're going to let your teenager use these things, I would certainly make sure that they're not going over a recommended amount.
So since we both have 16-year-olds, would you let your child take it?
I would, as long as I could, it's probably safe. Again, I kind of monitor how much he takes. He stays under 5 grams a day. And I think what it does for him is it motivates him to get down there and work out and exercise. And so I want to encourage that, whether or not it helps him or not. Up here it does, and he enjoys it.
Does creatine work better the more I take? How much should I be taking? Should I take the whole bottle? What do you think?
There is a limit. Most of the studies looked at taking it every day versus using a loading dose. And I think a lot of times loading dose actually was beneficial, whereas Dr. Fricks talked about 5 grams a day as being the kind of the routine steady state dose. 20 grams a day is the typical loading dose.
For a week?
I think it's about a week, yeah. That's what I've seen.
Like everything, if a little's good, doesn't mean necessarily that a lot is better.
I think a nice way of looking at it is once you fill up your car with gasoline, assuming you have a gasoline car, fill up your car with gasoline, you can't add more gas to it. There's a limit, and you reach that limit, and it just doesn't do any extra good.
Is there something I should look for in particular when looking at a certain brand of creatine?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to look at your brand because you want a company that's reputable, Sure, you can look at reviews online and decide yourself what's reputable, but what you really want is a company that gets a third party to come in and test their supplements that they're selling and make sure they're legitimate.
This is awesome information. Could you summarize it for the general public?
I think it can be an excellent supplement to take to get some extra benefit from your workouts in the gym, and possibly kind of cut down, if you're older, cut down on some muscle atrophy as you get older.
So yeah, I think overall it's proven that it can be helpful. It's also proven that the risks are pretty small.
We may be bigger next time you see us.
That's right.
So
Get my loading dose in. Get Dr. Frick to stop eating his little Debbie's. Who makes Posters cups? What they call?
yeah,
Ding dong.
check the box if you like us, and subscribe.
Please feel free to leave us a comment. Check back with us next time, and we'll give you some more.